Hi guys. So this is actually my very first tutorial. I've never made one before. On Facebook, I'm in the Litz Resin group. If you've never checked them out, I would recommend that. There's a really lot of talented artists in there and very creative. And I made this little, I don't know if you can see it very well, this little dolphin, and I shared it with the group, and this is actually made out of polymer clay and hard and soft resin and little pieces. And they didn't, I tried to explain to them how I made it, and they asked if I would do a tutorial, so I'm making my first one. But this will actually be a two-part tutorial because I'm gonna make the polymer clay dolphin in this one. It's pretty simple, and then the next one I will put together show you how I do the resin and put it all together onto the shell. And for the dolphin, there's lots of different ways you can do it. This is just my particular way that I like to do it, but if you have another way to do it, that's great. I'm using Sculpey 3 clay because it's a lot cheaper than the Primo. The Primo's great, but I like but since it's just a small dolphin, there's not going to be a whole lot of detail in it. Then I'm using the cheaper one, the Sculpey 3. And this color, I believe, my colors kind of got messed up, but I do believe that this color is light blue pearl. It's very pretty, sparkly color. And then black for the eyes, or you can paint the eyes on, whichever. So that is what I'm doing. That's what I'm doing. And I've already went ahead and conditioned my clay and made sure the bubbles were out. And well, let's get started. I'm gonna break off a little piece. And some of the tools that I like to use also are silicone brushes, I guess, that you would call them. They're really flexible. Silicone doesn't really stick to it as much. And these little ball end things. I don't know what you call them, but yeah. And also an X-Acto knife. Cut off pieces. That's what I have. And then this, I mean, you can use this to cut pieces off. Very flexible, cut around. So let's get started. I'm going to, should be about enough. You want to make sure your clay is conditioned and your hands are clean. Sometimes I wear gloves, but the gloves I ordered are horrible, so I'm not going to wear that. And I'm going to make a ball about this big. And then, my hands are in the way actually. Let's see if I can zoom in a little better. What you're going to do is you're going to roll your ball into like a little log or a little cylinder, and then you're going to make sure that one end just roll it out is thinner than your other one. There we go. Just like that. And then you're going to start working. Let me zoom back out. on the nose. To do that, you're just going to pinch right on the edge and just pinch both sides. Just like that. Trim my nails. Okay, so now we're going to work on the tail. Take a little tiny ball, about like that, and you're going to roll the ends into a little point, just like you did your dolphin, but the ends will be a little equal. Smash it down. So what you're going to want to go for is a little mustache, a little dolphin mustache. You're going to put that right on the tail. Of course I get a phone call. Oh, I should have turned my phone off. See, my very first tutorial. I'm already learning. Go ahead and turn the sound down. Okay. So I've got this little, let's see if I can zoom in, or why. This little dolphin. And now I'm going to, this stuff is stuck, so I'm going to try to get it up so I can work with it better. And zoom it back out. And now I'm going to use this tool and blend it. Oh no, got hair on that. How did that happen? It's not even my dog's hair. I have a rescue dog that is part border collie, part something else. We don't know who the dad is. But I'm willing to bet it's a big dog because border collies get up to about, females at least, 42 pounds. She is at a whopping 80 pounds. So she's a really big border collie. Very hyper too. So I'm willing to bet maybe she's got some red under her ears, so maybe a Burmese mountain dog maybe. So you're going to use this silicone brush thing, and you're going to blend your tail into your dolphin's, I guess it's the flipper tail, dorsal fin, flippers, tail, blend it into the rest of the body. just by smoothing it. Doesn't seem to want to blend very well right now. I don't know why. Oh, I'm totally out of the camera. See, I don't know what I'm doing. Need a higher camera crew, I guess. That's so funny. Okay. Okay. And we'll smooth all of this out later as we go along, because we're going to make fingerprints all over this thing. I have yet to figure out how. I think you can use like put baby powder or baking powder on your hands, and that helps to keep the fingerprints off, but I haven't tried that yet. So there's my little dolphin with the little tail. And now we will work on the dorsal fin, and I'm gonna make a ball probably a little less than this, a little smaller than that actually. But we'll go ahead and do this, smush that down, cut about, haha, I see where it came from now. It came from my cutter. A little tiny piece of hair on it. Always make sure your tools are clean. This thing is real bendy, but it's also very sharp. Just make sure when you do go to cut it, you don't cut your pieces. Your other stuff around, since it's so long. And get this little triangle piece. See if I can show you that. We're going to put that maybe because I just smashed it some more. And to get a little curve on this right here, you can take this, do I have a smaller one? No, that's pretty good. That's about the same size. On one of these little, a pen, or I'm just going to use one of these things, a paintbrush, and you're going to curve it on that, just like that, to give it a little curve. And then we just attach this to our dolphin, and then we're going to use that other tool and we're going to blend it into the dolphin. And we'll smooth all this out a little later. We'll get all the pieces connected and blend it on. Make sure it's straight with the rest of the body. Just like that. Just like that, and flatten it down. Cut them in half so they're about even. Just like that. We're going to put it on the side. Both sides. Okay, and then take that same silicone brush thing and just blend it into the rest of the dolphin. You can either have it going all the way to the body, or you can have some of the flippers sticking out on the ends. Of course, one of them's bigger than the other. So let me see if I can try to get that size a little bit better. Smushed it too much there. I gotta fix it. That's what happens when you try to rush it a little too fast. So just take your time with it. All right. And just like that. And then the last thing you're going to want to do before we're getting ready to smooth it all out is, let's see, which one? Not that one. Let's see. And then you can either decide if you want to paint your eyes or you're going to fill it with some polymer clay. I am not going to paint mine. I'm going to fill mine. So what you want to do is go ahead and put little indents for your dolphin's eyes, and you're going to line it up with the nose. And before you push all the way in, you can decide your placement first. Line them up. That looks pretty good on both sides. I don't know if you see that. So I'm going to go ahead and make it just a little bit deeper. And then you're going to get your clay, your black clay. And when you're working with black clay, you want to have a rag or something to clean your fingers off with, because the black will really get on your fingers, and it can, when you go to touch your other work, it can leave black smudges, so you don't want that, and also the surface. So kind of do all my black over down here in my corner. And you're gonna cut off a teeny tiny little bit. Another teeny tiny little bit. Might have been too much. Actually, it definitely was. So an even teeny tiny little bit. you can hear my dog barking. That didn't come off. Those are about the same size. I'll take one. I'm using, trying not to get the thing on there like I just said. You know what? That's still too big. I'm going to take this one big one and make it even smaller than that. I'm going to try to cut that in half. That on the eye. Just like that. And I touched my dolphin. Which is not what I wanted to do, but just like that. And then I'm going to smooth out some of these edges, and then I'm going to put it on my little glass piece. You can bake it on tile, glass, and then just bake it the way that the instructions on your clay says to. And then I'll be back to show you the finished product. Alright, see you soon.